More than bananas, how the Christian faith works for me and the whole universe.
Episode 8. Getting us to believe it. If you were God and you wanted to talk to humans, how would you do it? Here are 2 ways. First, send a personalised message to everyone on Earth. This would have to be a 24/7 feed for the whole history of humanity to be sure that you captured everyone. People with special needs would have to be provided for. Illiterate people, for example, could not read writing in the sky. Deaf people wouldn't hear the audio, and it would have to be simple enough for babies and small children. Second, send messages to individuals and hope that these individuals would be believed by everyone else. The comedian Woody Allen suggested depositing some money in a Swiss bank account at the same time. It might help. Unfortunately, the fall has shattered our trust in God and magnified our disappointment in ourselves. So the very things needed to hear God are the same things that the fall has most comprehensively totaled. Our fallenness makes us ignore God, hide from him, and sometimes bad-mouth him like a former partner from a messy divorce. Some of us find God so repellent that we don't want to talk to him. Others of us find ourselves so repellent or insignificant that we don't think he'll want to talk to us. Many of us buzz around in our own personal twilight, occasionally smelling some sweet fragrance of eternity perhaps, but never finding the right flower. Maybe none of these are problems to God, since he is infinitely wise and can solve them, but to us down here they certainly feel like problems. I think the answer to this communications problem is that God chose both options, and he is now streaming data to us on a lavish scale. Look at our suggested 24/7 information feed. It's everywhere. We've seen earlier how the patient work of physicists through the 20th century led us directly back to a single joyous moment of creation. Physics, my subject, though I wasn't very good at it, also tells us other things. For example, if certain physical values, such as the strength of gravity, were not exactly the size they are, and the required exactness is totally nuts, the universe would never have got big enough or old enough to host life. This is true of several other physical constants. It's as if you can twist a camera lens millions of ways, but in only one of them is the desired object perfectly in focus. You can try millions of ways of twirling a combination lock, but only one opens the safe to physics. Our universe looks very like that focused on object, that opened safe. It's a puzzle without God. We also saw that we exist, and that demands an explanation, and we've argued that the best one is an infinite, personal and beautiful creator. This is a belief with considerable difficulties, but to me more believable than the alternatives. Beyond these 2 examples, his word is everywhere once we look. Creation is sticky with God's paw prints, scribbled with his crayons, engineered with his genius. Why do babies curl their toes with joy when feeding at the breast? Why are Down syndrome people so often full of joy? Why is it so good to see a field heavy with wheat, or to have a meal with friends, or to share a kiss? Why do scientists find that seeking elegant theories is the best way to unearth the truth? Why are there blue whales, or galaxies, or the northern lights, if they don't have a source in God's exuberant joy at being God, overflowing into his creation? No one, not the tiniest baby, or the most decayed old mind, or the most handicapped, sense-restricted individual, can escape finding at least a sniff of the glory and goodness of God. We can all pretend it isn't there, but it is. I've felt God's steady presence while hallucinating wildly, coming in and out of a coma. I've known him with me while a crash team was restarting my heart with powerful electric shocks at the same time as my body was bouncing across the bed, and I was telling the crash team that really hurt. The more powerless, the more broken-hearted, the more at the end of ourselves we are, it seems to me, the more likely we are to bump unexpectedly into his wordless love and favour. The proud walk straight past him. The broken unexpectedly feel his silent embrace. Isn't it so? I think God also chooses the second method. He speaks to individuals and gets them to teach others. Now, in this world, this is a very hazardous thing. We are weary of this stuff. Anyone claiming to be speaking for God is likely to be judged by the rest of us as either A, barking up the wrong tree, or B, just plain barking. Part of the reason for this is that the fall has made us suspicious of each other and of God. But the main reason is that people speaking on God's behalf can't agree on anything. For example, God is either passionately for or passionately against gay marriage. He encourages us to douse copies of the Quran in petrol and burn them, or Bibles, or Salman Rushdie's satanic verses. Afghan women get hit by cars because God requires them to be so covered up they can't safely see to cross the road. If you don't ceremonially wash past your elbows, your prayers don't count. The earth is flat. The truth is written on a set of golden plates given to the Mormon founder, Joseph Smith, to be read with special glasses. But now both golden glasses have been lost. Cows are sacred, or they are just cows. Great wealth is a sign of great blessing. Oh, no it isn't. What to do with all this stuff? Beyond putting our heads back under the duvet. How can we distinguish God's voice from among the rest? Are there true prophets? Won't we just endlessly choose the ones that fit our own prejudices? Our own human judgment is one of the few tools we have in our box. God, if he is indeed speaking within this cacophony, must know that. And my human judgment tells me to look for integrity above all. Show me a truthful person, and I might believe their truthful message. And we'll look at that in the next episode.